Welcome. Welcome to episode 180. You guys see what the title is on the stream. How you can save $100,000 on your offensive speech fines with pause. We'll get into that in a minute. Before we get into that story, we are going to first get into the autopsy on today's training. Today was probably one of the most hopeful days that I've had since I hurt my left leg. I had to work in with somebody on the leg press today, and he was going to 4 whole plates, and my plan was to do 3.5. So I erred on the side of no caution, and I just went and did it. I just went to the 4 plates. I did 3 sets of 5 at 405 on the leg press and felt very good. I did most of my leg curl and leg extension work, unilateral, and a lot of single leg work, and it worked out very, 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 very well for me today. I'm very happy. I really could not be happier. I could not be happier. Quad feels good. 405 actually kind of felt a little bit light, all things considered. I did not want to train today, but the desire to quit wasn't really there like it was in previous. Oh, shit. Oh, okay. You guys are moving. Nice. So, yeah, there's really not a lot to say about today's leg training. Yesterday's shoulder training was very intense. I hit the overhead military press on the Smith machine. I hit that for, I think, 3 sets of 5. That was grueling at 155. That was grueling. And then I did 3 sets of 10 at 115. And that was pretty difficult too. But, I was able to get that done. I did some lateral raises or whatever. Today I have to do some vertical pull work. I might do that at home today. I'll see. We'll see what's up with that. I haven't decided if I'm going to do weighted pull-ups today. But I am definitely going to try to get some good back work in. Okay. So, how you can save $100,000 by switching to pause. LaMelo Ball is one of the 3 Ball brothers who rose to national prominence when their father, LeVar Ball, really started marketing his sons as elite-level basketball players that he trained himself. He's definitely an old-school guy, so he offended a lot of liberals. And, of his 3 sons, 2 of them made it to and stuck in the NBA. Lonzo Ball's had a lot of knee problems. He made it and got a nice contract because of his play. And the other brother that stuck in the NBA would be LaMelo Ball. LaMelo Ball plays for the Charlotte Hornets, and by all accounts is a pretty good player. I think he is also locked down a pretty nice, gaudy contract, if I'm not mistaken. Now, there was a game of a couple nights ago where the Charlotte Hornets pulled out a game very late, and I guess they needed some sort of defensive stop to kind of lock in the win. And LaMelo Ball was asked about what they did to get the win at the end of the game. And without really thinking, he said, "We loaded up, no homo." Oh my God. My guy said, "We loaded up, no homo." And I can only imagine, because I only read articles about what happened, but I can only imagine how, like, quick that shit rolled off the tongue, like, mad quick, you know? Now, we live in a time where everything is considered to be hate speech. Follow me on this. Follow me on this. Follow me on this. While I try to avoid getting hit from the back by a garbage truck. No homo. We live in a time now where saying something that is hateful is not the only way that you can get tagged for hate speech. You don't actually need to say anything that, you don't have to feel any hatred for what you say. What you say doesn't really need to be, said with any malice, but they'll tag you with that tag. Now, if I told you, under no circumstances will I ever ingest alcohol or consume marijuana, right? Does that mean that I'm hateful towards those that partake? Does it mean that, everything that I choose, every lifestyle choice that I choose not to engage in, does that mean that I hate the things that I choose not to engage in? Right? That's a real question. That's a real question that we need to ask ourselves. Just simply saying no homo, is that a hateful thing to say? Did you feel hate when you said it? Or you just don't go that way? Now, I remember around 4 or 5 years ago, this weird ass dude with long hair that used Pantene Pro V was trying to put out this narrative that if you are a straight man who refuses to get involved with a dude claiming to be a chick, then that means that you are a bigot. And a lot of people responded like, there are women out there that don't like guys, that are not attracted to guys who are shorter than 6 feet tall. Does it mean that these women hate men who are shorter than 6 feet tall, or are they just simply not interested or don't want to partake? Right? Hey, Kratos, how you doing, brother? Thank you for coming by. I'm glad you're here for this conversation, because I'm going to have a lot of fun with it. Because you don't roll with something, does that make you a hater? Right? Now, saying that you don't mean something in a homosexual way, does that mean that you hate homosexuals? Right? Do people even know what the pause game is about? Because that's really like the whole no homo thing is like is like an offshoot of the pause game, right? And basically, the whole deal with the pause game and shit like it is to catch people that you're cool with in double entendres. Now, we do know that if you use certain phrases that mean two things, but a woman finds it sexual and she voices her displeasure at that, you can get, some disciplinary action taken against you as a man in the workplace, you know? And, you know, well, this guy's super thirsty. These guys are super duper thirsty. This guy in front of me almost rear-ended the car in front of him because he needed to get in front of me so bad. And he still ain't going anywhere. That's why people hate cab drivers. Anyway, so it was really like, a funny thing that you do, just kind of like, yo, that sounded kind of sus. You know what I'm saying? Like, what you mean by that? So the pause game has been around um, at least since like I was in middle school here in New York. So, I go out to the bars with my friends on occasion, and they know that I don't drink alcohol. Does it mean that I hate them for drinking alcohol because I won't do it? I think that we need to have an actual legitimate conversation about that, because to get fined $100,000, which is more than most people's salaries, it is more than 85% of people's salaries. And I get it, he makes multiple millions a year. Like, I get that, right? But you're fining somebody because he basically insinuated that he did not mean what he said in a jokingly, in a joking way. He didn't mean it, in a certain type of inappropriate way, right? What is the world coming to where we need to coddle the emotions of a minority of people so much that we are taking literal livelihood levels of money from people because of something that they said? And I've heard all kinds of inappropriate words being used on NBA basketball courts, not drawing $100,000 fines. But anytime you seem like you're not on board with a certain type of sexuality, man, the NBA Board of Governors, they are on that ass. And I talked to Captain Paul about this, and I I told him, I was like, he should have just said no Diddy. Or, him being a celebrity and not wanting any of Diddy's sons to try to jump him outside a nightclub or something. You could just simply say pause. He could have saved $100,000 if he would have just said pause. And if you are going to fine somebody for saying the word pause, oh my goodness. Oh my. That would really be something. And somebody's about to get towed on my block. Wow. That's crazy. Somebody's about to get towed. I feel bad for LaMelo Ball, and now he's got to, make all of these contrite statements, and he needs to say all of this and all of that um, to proclaim to the world that he's on the side of these people that choose these types of lifestyles, um, and do all of this damage control. I just think that we're just in a bad place in society. And I'll tell you like this, right? I wasn't happy that Trump won the election, but I was happy that Kamala Harris didn't win the election, if that makes any sense. Uh, I know that the NBA wants to appear like, they're like so progressive, and they're trying to make the world better by policing everybody's speech and telling them what words they can and cannot say. But I can tell you that one of the main reasons why we have Trump in the White House coming up in January 2025 is because people like LaMelo Ball are getting fined $100,000 for saying no homo. People are getting tired of it. People are getting tired of it. Like we don't, we're just not. People are not, people are tired of it. We don't need everybody's feelings to be coddled 24/7 to the point where the masses will end up turning against that minority protected group. We don't want to get to a place where you go from, wow, that was really messed up what that person went through, and then end up at a place where you stop caring because people have gone so far with it that um, they're making life really unlivable for a lot of people. And I know that that sounds a little bit like hyperbole, and to a degree that it is. But, I do believe that in general, people are tired of it. They're tired of it. And I know I'm looking over here a lot. I'm looking to see which one of these vehicles this tow truck is going to ruin the day of. Trying to figure out which one he's going to victimize. Um, you have to be super, super careful to make sure that any little word or phrase that you say, will, not hurt, some grown person's feelings who chooses to be hurt, because nobody who is well adjusted in this life, nobody who is well adjusted, oh, he's taking the second guy. Nobody who's well adjusted in life is going to have a mental breakdown over somebody saying no homo. If you're a person that lives a homosexual lifestyle and you understand what's being said, you're probably not going to be offended by that. And even if you are offended, you're probably not going to lose your goddamn mind over it. You're probably going to say, you know what? If you're a person who lives a homosexual lifestyle and you're a fan of the NBA, maybe you just say, you know what, um, I feel some type of way about, what he said, so I'll just not root for him or buy his sneakers or his jersey or something like that. Because that's what most people do, right? Um, you might just be like, you know what? I don't mess with him because he said no homo. Okay, all right. You vote with your dollars like every American does. And I don't have a problem with that. But to pretend that somebody that lives a different lifestyle needs to have their ears protected to make sure that, oh my God, they heard a word that they didn't want to hear, that didn't celebrate their life choices. You know, uh, you know that's how you get Donald Trump in the White House. When they're talking about wokeism, that's what they're talking about. And some people may leave unkind comments. Oh man, it's about to mess this guy's car up with this tow truck. Goodness gracious. Um, to try to like make sure that a small group of people make sure that they don't hear sounds that they don't want to hear, that's insane. It's insane. And I think a growing number of people, even some people on the liberal side of things, even, I'm definitely on the liberal side of things. And I do think that, people should be careful with their words. Um, but there's a limit to that. There's a limit to it. And I just think that, um, you may end up with an extreme opposite reaction to this period of time where everybody is, being told what sounds they can make with their mouth. Like we have these tiny groups of people that we have to make sure are never offended. But, you know, we have to, but it's okay to take away the womanhood from women who can give birth. We can offend them by bestowing womanhood upon people who aren't women. That we can offend women in that way. That's fine. We could say plenty of hateful things about straight men. Oh yeah, number one target. But somebody playing the pause game where those who know, if you know, you know, type of deal. And we got to find that guy $100,000. That's insane. That's insanity. There's nothing reasonable about that. There are going to be no people who are going to have their lives enriched by this. The only thing you're going to do is continue to draw the ire of people who are tired of wokeism. That's it. That's all you're doing. And that's for better or for worse. Whether you think people have a right. Catherine Anna Hauserman, how are you doing today? Whether you believe that somebody should be offended at this $100,000 fine or not, remember that some people don't believe that people should be offended by no homo. The only people that should be offended by no Diddy is, Diddy and apparently his sons, right? But we are creating an environment that is going to be very hostile to people in the alphabet soup. The alphabet soup cartel is probably going to end up having a lot of angry people doing a lot of stuff that they're not doing today because people pushed the wokeism way too far. $100,000 fine for saying no homo. That's a problem. It's a problem. It's a problem. And now you have an incoming administration that wants to penalize the social media companies for moderating the content on their platforms. Because when we needed the moderation, that was fine. But when you go too far in your content moderation efforts, there will be backlash. When you are kicking people off the platform because they don't have the prescribed opinion, when they use words to describe things accurately, like that's a woman, that's a man, and then you start kicking people off of social media. Oh, and we're going to create these new derogatory terminologies, dead naming, and all this other stuff. Like, what are you talking about? Right? We've gone so far to the left that the right is now going to backlash us. Now we're going to get too much freedom of speech now. We're going to have people saying some truly offensive things on purpose because they can. Because we went so far in the opposite direction. We couldn't just be reasonable. We had to try to destroy people's lives for saying words, regardless of the context. The next 4 years here in the United States are going to be very, very interesting, let me tell you. It's going to be very, very interesting. You know, is YouTube going to be prohibited from demonetizing people because of specialized bad words? It's going to be a very, very interesting time on social media over the next 4 years. And I'm not saying that people should just go out there and try to say all the offensive things that they want to say. I'm not like a proponent, just go out there and try to offend people. But I always say, like I always say, if you have a problem with an entity, vote with your dollars. If you don't like a particular YouTube channel, don't subscribe. Hit the dislike button. Subscribe to the channels that you want to subscribe to. Don't subscribe to the channels that you don't want to subscribe to. And then let the market sort it out. But you going out there trying to get people fined, get them to lose their jobs, getting them evicted from their houses because you don't like the subject matter or you don't like the sound that came out of their mouth, you're gonna end up getting an outsized backlash, and you're not gonna understand why it's happening. You're gonna be like, oh my God, why is this happening to me? You know, I just said, you know, don't say this derogatory term, and this person did this, and this. Well, you went too far. Yeah, I get it. You know, there are certain words that you don't want to hear, but should people be penalized for saying them? And who decides what words, what sounds our mouths make that we can and cannot make? Who decides that? So again, it's going to be a very, very interesting 4 years coming up. You know, the way that I see it, like if somebody used a hard ER and I heard it on their channel, I would just not subscribe to their channel and hit the dislike button and tell YouTube to never recommend that channel to me. Mrs. Evo, how you doing? I don't need to get that person kicked off of YouTube. If I heard somebody say something that I thought was ultra derogatory and nasty and disgusting, I just hit the dislike button. I'll stop watching the video at the point that I heard what I heard, and then tell YouTube to not recommend that channel to me again. They will get less views. They will not get promoted by me. I will not tell other people about their channel. And they will pay for it that way. I don't need them to get their channel taken down. I don't need that. And I think that we need to get away from that as a society, because when the shoe is on the other foot and the other side has all the power, and then they can decide what words liberals can and cannot say, you're going to have a problem with that. You know, to the victor goes the spoils. You know, the winners of wars, they write the history books. And the liberals have had their time in the sun to the point where people are begging for the nighttime. You saw all the liberal women weeping and gnashing their teeth over Donald Trump winning the election. 54% of white women voted for Donald Trump. White women are tired of the liberalism. Black men, more and more, are getting tired of the liberalism. Now the shoe's on the other foot. What are you going to do as a liberal when all your stupid derogatory terms now get you fined and get you fired from your job? We've already seen a bunch of corporations who just set up diversity, equity, and inclusion programs immediately shutter them, immediately shut them down. Like this. What happens when you start using those liberal buzzwords and you end up on a performance review plan at work? What happens when a dude walks into a woman's bathroom and gets immediately fired and has the cops called on them and gets arrested and has charges brought up against him because people got tired of the wokeism so much that when the other side took power, they outlawed all of this weird shit? What happens then? What happens when, you tried to take over society with your alphabet soup? What happens when they actually put concrete laws on the books outlawing all that stuff? What will you do? Are you going to cry and complain and then go to jail? Lose your jobs, lose your houses, like you advocated for the conservatives to lose their jobs and their houses and their standings in their community? Like, you demanded this stuff. Now people have gotten so tired of it, you're going to have the so-called conservatives taking over all three parts of our executive branch of the government: the House, the Senate, and the presidency. And they're stacking the Supreme Court with justices that are going further and further to the right. We have a liberal justice who just basically said she's not going to quit before Trump takes office so that Biden can put a younger, healthier, longer lifespan liberal on the court, which is already at a disadvantage 6-3. What happens if she passes away during the Trump presidency and they usher in some far right judge, and now it's 7-2, and they start putting a bunch of laws on the books that are actually persecution of liberals and people in the alphabet soup? What happens then? What happens then? Are you going to get the Lonzo Balls and the LaMelo Balls to advocate on your behalf? No. LaMelo Ball got fined $100,000 for saying no homo. No, he's not going to be on your side. He's going to have a mouthpiece and a platform. It ain't going to be for you. So it's really important to be sure that anything that you're hoping happens to your opposition, understand that when your opposition gets the power, they can now do that to you. Am I saying that he should have said no homo? No, I'm not saying that he shouldn't have said it or that he should have said it. I'm going to leave that up to you. But understand that, social trends go in waves. I remember back in the day, super baggy pants were super popular, and then super tight clothes were getting popular. Now the baggy pants are coming back again. Conservatism is coming back again, folks. And you can say all you want about you having the moral high ground. They believe they have the moral high ground too. They believe that they have a better moral fiber than you. And you think your moral fiber is better because you're trying to prevent people from saying words? Well, they believe that they're protecting their children from damaging ideologies that might influence them to mutilate themselves, among other negative outcomes for their kids and the kids in their communities. Yeah, they believe they have the moral high ground too. So I really do believe that, a lot of people are probably going to celebrate LaMelo Ball getting a $100,000 fine for saying something, some, weird, quirky quip. But no, in the long run, society and those protected groups will pay for those types of actions taken against regular people who don't actually have hateful thoughts towards those people in those protected groups. That's the truth. And you can get mad at it all you want. You can hit the dislike button. Don't care. That's the reality. But in the meantime, if you're a professional athlete in the United States, you need to go on over to the Come Talk to Me channel. Go watch It Is What It Is. And listen to Lord Cameron. Lord Cameron will help you save $100,000 on offensive speech fines when you switch to pause. All right, y'all. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope that you got some sort of something out of that. I'm going to try to eat eggs now and eat a muffin and then maybe take a nap. I'm very tired. I had a good workout. Much love and all that to all you guys. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, I am rooting for you. I believe you're strong because you believe you're strong and you've done the hard work. Continue to keep doing that. I will continue to rock with you. I will see you on Thursday. And yeah, that's pretty much it.